Yeah. To get started, as a first step, let's try to recap what we were discussing yesterday. So basically, we were having a discussion around what is Java and a bit of understanding around the history of Java, why it became very popular, and why it has been uh, became uh, a primary language for development. And we also discussed about the different applications which are developed using Java. And then we also had a discussion around what are the different set of features that are offered by Java, and what made it powerful when compared to the other procedural programming languages like C or C++ or Python. And then to get started in today's particular session, let's try to understand and gain some expertise, or let's start with writing a basic hello world program today. And before we start to write the hello world program, there are certain things that we need to do in our mission. So for that we would be needing some of the tools. So what are the tools and how are they, why we are going to use them, and how Java works in the background. So all those set of things would be the part of today's agenda and discussion. So today, for just to start with, so today's agenda would be like setting up a local machine or else your laptop, setting up your laptop or a machine to run Java applications. So let's try to see what are all the different tools required to run the to build and run the Java applications first, and then let's try to write a hello world program. And then once we are done writing the hello world program, then let's try to understand what each line of code in the hello world program is doing. So understanding what each line of each line of code is doing. And then we can also have a discussion around how Java works in the background, how Java works in background. So what are all the things that are making Java to perform all its tasks? And so that sort of discussion we'll have as at the end. So before we start with setting up the local machine, so it's something like this. Uh, Before you start to build any house, so you would be requiring different set of things, right? So before you start building any house, like you will plan whether how to build the house, whether you wanted to go with some ready-made bricks, or you wanted to go with another other alternative, or else once that is finalized, you would be looking for the contractor who can take up this activity and build the house. So there are a lot of things in building the house. So the same thing applies here. So before you start to develop or build any application, so for that you need to have you need to have some sort of tools in your machine. So tools in your machine, so that by using those tools you can be able to develop those applications and run those applications. So that is why we have a lot of tools in the market. So like so if you look at the tools that are used to build and run the Java applications, there are a lot of tools or the code editors. But to note some, there are something like popular code editors like VS Code. Also, we have the Sublime Text, and also we have the Intellij. And some people also prefer to use Notepad++. Uh, and some people use Turbo. So these are all the different set of code editors that are available in the market. So the main responsibility or the main aim of this code editor is to facilitate the developers to build, facilitate developers to build and run applications. easily. So these are the kind of softwares which help the developers to build some additional softwares. So it is like that. And out of there are multiple code editors. If you can go to Google and type like code editors, so you can be able to see like there are hundreds of editors available in the market. So out of this, like I try to filter everything and then come up with only a few of the popular code editors. And then in this particular training, my preference or the my suggestion would be to go with IntelliJ. So why I'm suggesting this one to for practicing or development or any testing purpose. So I would recommend my recommendation is this one. So I will tell you the reason why I'm recommending this one, why I'm recommending this to use or use for practice or develop any sort of complex applications. So one of the major reason why I recommend IntelliJ is because of its capability to handle everything easily. So it has the capability to handle anything easily. So what I mean by this is like when you start using IntelliJ, your life becomes easy. So unless like if you use any other code editor, there you need to do some sort of manual operations or you need to do something manually. Either it may be the configuration or else the setup will be a bit manual. But when it comes to IntelliJ, IntelliJ will take care of everything. So you don't need to configure anything manually, and IntelliJ will take care of everything. No manual configuration is needed. So everything will be taken care by IntelliJ itself. Everything taken care by. So IntelliJ, it's basically it is called as an IDE. So IntelliJ is an IDE. So it is also called as the code editor and also called as the IDE. So which stands for uh, Intelligent Development Environment. This is not intelligent, it's integrated development, sorry, it's called integrated development environment. So when you start using IntelliJ, so everything comes in a sort of bundled fashion. So you don't need to go and download any other third party tools. Everything, either it may be any other additional softwares or it might be any other plugins. So everything is available in the IntelliJ IDE itself. So IntelliJ supports uh, different types of plugins, and it also supports additional softwares required for development. So by default, IntelliJ, the whatever the softwares or the whatever the plugins offered by IntelliJ are very uh, intelligent enough to handle everything. So that is the reason why I recommend not only you but anyone who asks me to suggest any code editor, then I would be suggesting IntelliJ as the primary one. So the main reason being that uh, you don't need to put any efforts or you don't need to invest any sort of time in setting up the things. So IntelliJ has the benefit, or IntelliJ provides the capability to solve everything easily, and no other investment of time or your effort is needed. And yeah, going ahead, uh, in this particular training, we would be using IntelliJ. And in today's session, I would be showing you how to configure or how to set up IntelliJ in your machine. So you you might be using Windows machine, or else you might also be using any other machine. So any Linux machine. So IntelliJ supports majority of the platforms. So that is also one of the advantages of IntelliJ. So IntelliJ supports all platforms. All platforms are OS. Either it may be Mac OS, or it can be Windows OS, or else it can also be Linux OS. So IntelliJ is supported for all the platforms, and downloading and installing this IDE is very easy. Downloading and installing this IDE is very easy. So like going ahead, I will be showing you how to download from where to download this IDE and how to install this IDE. So all the steps I would be doing it, and then we'll also do the setup for how to run the uh, how to write a Hello World application, and then how to run the Hello World application. So all that sort of stuff we'll be discussing and doing it practically today. So the first question is like, how do you download this particular IntelliJ IDE? So for that, you just need to go to google.com and search for something like IntelliJ IDE. So they have their official website, and so if you can go to like if you can go to the download page, so you can be able to download the IntelliJ. And IntelliJ supports like IntelliJ. Apart from IntelliJ is a product which is offered by JetBrains, and the IntelliJ which is offered by JetBrains. So the JetBrains is a company name. So apart from the IntelliJ, they also offer a variety of products, and all these products are used mainly for the development activity. So if you can see IntelliJ products, so they offer wide range of products to support the uh, front end development, back end development, or it might be any cloud development. So if you go and search for something like this, IntelliJ products, so uh, IntelliJ by default itself is a development company. So it produces all the different, it develops all the products which are basically focused on the developers. So they, and IntelliJ is one of the products which is offered by JetBrains. So if you are a Python enthusiast, then they offer you the PyCharm. And if you are the JavaScript enthusiast, then they offer you a WebStorm. So all of these editors are some of the popular ones in the IT industry. And basing on the requirement or basing on the need, people choose different products. So IntelliJ, we have IntelliJ. Uh, Almost all the languages and all the programming frameworks, everything is supported by IntelliJ. But basing on the need and basing on the cost, people go for different products in offered from JetBrains. So this is the big list of products which are used for development that are offered by JetBrains. And so within the IntelliJ itself, you would be having two different versions. So one is the community version, and within IntelliJ, we have two different versions. So one is the community edition, and the other one is the enterprise edition. So when you choose the community edition, it's free of cost. So you don't need to pay anything. And when it comes to an enterprise edition, so there will be some licensing cost. So it will have some license cost. So for now, since we are just beginning, so let's try to use the community edition. So it's free of cost, and then you don't need to pay anything for that, and you can use it very happily. So for this, what I'm going to do is like, I will go to their products page, and if you can see, we have the IDE, and then let me look for the IntelliJ IDE, this one. So basically, this is the community edition. And if you can look for this one, this is the community edition, and both are same. Whatever the functionality supported by the enterprise edition, it is also available on the community edition. But the only difference is that uh, there are some additional features that are available on the enterprise edition. So that's the only difference. And apart from that, all the functionalities remains the same on either of the products. So since we are just starting off, and I would be using IntelliJ Community Edition. So for this, if I want to use this one, I can go to the download page and I can click on download free button. So I'm using a MacBook, so it would be a .dmg file for me. And if you are using Windows OS, it would be a .exe file, so that you can try. And if you are using the Linux operating system or any other Unix operating systems, so you can directly download it from the terminal. So you don't need to download any sort of files. You can directly download it from the uh, terminal. So that would be very easier if you are in the Linux environment. And if you are using Windows environment, just directly download the .exe file. And so since I'm using MacBook, so I would be downloading .img file. So once I click on this one, it would start downloading, and it's like almost around 879 MB. So this would take some time to download. And once the file is downloaded, then you just need to double click on that file, whatever you have downloaded, and then the application would be installed. The entire IDE would be installed, and it would be ready to use. So once we are done with the installation part, and then uh, we'll start writing the high level code, and we'll try to go through each word in the line, each word or the line of code, and then see what exactly that is doing in the code. And then so once we are done with writing the basic hello world application, and from the next sessions, which would be starting from Monday onwards, so we can go with the actual roadmap which we have here. So once we are done with writing the hello world program, then we can uh, have a discussion around how to declare the variables, what are variables, and why the variables are needed. So we'll be having the discussion around different questions, and then we would be starting writing the programs on how to declare the variable, and how to assign a variable, and how to pass the variables. So all that sort of stuff we would be discussing, and then we would be getting into the conditionals, looping strategies, or the looping concepts, and then object-oriented programming structures and exceptional handling. All these sort of things we would be discussing as a part of uh, Java curriculum before we get into the Java supported framework, which is Springboot. So let me see, like the application is still downloading. So it will take like more 30 to 40 seconds. So if you are interested to do it parallelly, then you can also try it parallelly. And if you have any questions, you can directly reach out to me so that I can be able to help you out. So this is why, because going ahead, majority would be on writing the code and implementing that. So whatever the task that we are going to have from the next week onwards, it would be around mostly around understanding the concept and writing the code for that. So the application is almost downloaded. So more 10 seconds. So the application has been downloaded. So once this application has been downloaded, so this is the .dmg file which I have. So I'm going to double click on this one. So as soon as I double click on this one, it will start installing on your local machine. So then you should be able to access the application. So it will take some time just to get ready on your local machine. So this is the community edition which I'm going to use. So the logo looks like this, and I give all the necessary permissions, and I do agree few of the things. And then once the IntelliJ is installed on your local machine, it's very easy. So the first thing you need to do is, like, you need to click on new project. So before you start to write any code, you just need to set up a project to run your application. So let's say, like, I would say this is a demo uh, session project, or else let me say demo project. So I would keep it like this, and I would say like Java, and the language is Java, and the people who program using Kotlin, they use Kotlin, and whatever the programming language might be, you can add it here. And then you need to choose a build system. So like what is a build system, what is Gradle, what is Maven, all this sort of discussion we would be having in the future. But now let me choose Gradle, and I need I need to choose any JDK version. So currently 17 is available in my mission. So I'm going with 17, and I'm choosing DSL as Groovy. So like I don't want to get into a discussion around what is DSL, what is build system right now. Uh, we would be having this discussion once we get into the actual stage where we start developing the applications. So for now, I'm going ahead and creating the project, the plain Java project. So once the project has been created, it would look like this. And on top, it is asking me to set up the SDK. So currently I'm choosing it as Amazon Corretto, which is a JDK 17. So as soon as I choose this one, it will start downloading few of the dependencies required to run the application. So since I have started this project, since I have created this project, on default, it has created this complete file. So as you can see here, I think the font size is very small. So the one of the like I was telling you, right, when you start using IntelliJ, IntelliJ basically makes your life very easier. So you don't need to put manual efforts or your time into fixing something or configuring something. So what we did, we just created a project using IntelliJ, and you see right here we have set of different directories, and all the directories are properly arranged into main and test, and within main you have the Java and you have the example. So everything is uh, arranged in the proper format. So what you need to do is like you just need to start writing, you need to understand the concept, and then you need to start implementing the code for that. So that is one of the major reason why I have been suggesting to use IntelliJ. And if you are interested to use VS Code, that is also fine. So uh, VS Code is basically one of the alternatives of IntelliJ, and some people prefer to go with the VS Code, and some people prefer to use IntelliJ. But what I can say that is once you start using IntelliJ to your best, then you will definitely fall in love with this IntelliJ IDE. So I think the font size is very small. So I would be just customizing this. So I go to the view and I go to the appearance, or let me go to the IntelliJ settings. I just wanted to make increase the font size. So let me check this code editing. I just need the fonts. So here the size is around 13. So what I'm going to do is like I will keep it 20, somewhere around like this. So I apply this one. So now the font size has been increased. I think now you should be able to see this one. So I'm gonna remove all these commits and I take up everything. So even I'm going to delete this file. So as the next step, so what we'll do is like we have everything ready. So we have the setup on the mission ready, and we have an IntelliJ project created. And then let's try to create a new file or a new Java class file. And then let's start writing the hello world program. So for that, what I'm going to do is like I will delete this file, right? So before we get started to write any Java files, so basically for every programming language or for every file, there would be some extensions. So if you take any files, it would be some .txt file, and if you take any uh, web development based files, it would be .html, and if you take any Python programming language, the extension would be .py. And if you take Java, the extension would be something like .java. So why do we need these extensions? And what is the purpose of these extensions? It's something like it's very easy to understand. So uh, the computers does not understand anything what is understood by you. So whatever you read, whatever a human being reads, it is completely of human readable format, and that human readable format is never understood by a computer. So for that, there are a lot of interpreters or compilers available on in between the human readable format and also the machine readable format. So in order to understand what type of file is it, or which programming language this file belongs to, so to differentiate uh, between the programming languages, we have this sort of extensions. So by looking at the extensions, you will be able to understand what file it is. So whenever you see a file with .java, maybe some hello world.java, by seeing at the file name itself, you would be able to determine uh, to which programming language the file belongs to. And if you see some hello world.py, just by looking at the file name, you would be able to identify uh, which programming language this file belongs to. So this is the differentiation that we can get using the uh, extensions. So basically, as we have discussed here, so for Java, we have the .java extension, and I'm going to create the Java file using the .java extension. So what I'm going to do is like I will go to, there are set of packages. So currently I'm creating in org.example package. So you don't need to worry about or think about what is a package or anything. So for now, I'm going to create a Java class. So here I'm going to keep something like hello world. So you don't need to put something like Java because that is taken care by the Intellij editor itself. So since you're creating hello world class, so it will create the .java file by default. So if you can see here, I just gave the file name as hello world, and it has created .java. So that is the beauty of IntelliJ. So you don't need to declare anything manually. Everything is taken care by IntelliJ. So that's the first thing. And now I have created a Java uh, file with the name hello world, and the extension is .java. So as the next step, as soon as I created the file, I could see this line of code is present here. So which is public class hello world, and I can also see other line which is package org.example. So these are the lines which came when I just created this file. So let me delete this file one more time. So if you can see here, I don't have any .java files here. So what I'm going to do is like I will create a Java class file. So here I'm going to say like hello world. So here I'm creating a hello world Java class file. So whenever I create a new file, some lines of code are getting added on themselves. So I'm not writing anything manually. They got it added on themselves. So who is doing this? And why these lines of code, why these lines of code is getting added here? So all that sort of questions we would be discussing next in few minutes. And before that, let's try to write a basic high level program in Java. So for that, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to write just 3 to 4 lines of code, and then we can have a detailed discussion around what is package and what is arg.example, what is public here, what is class here, what is this hello world doing here. So all that are sort of discussions we can have in a few minutes. So here, next what I'm going to do is like I'm going to create uh, a method or any function called as public static void main. So I'm going to select string args. So this is the method which I have created. And then I'm going to add one more line called as system dot out dot println. And I would say like hello world. And I would say like, 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 hel So here I have written just 3 lines of code on my own, and then let's try to run this application first. So this is very beginner level application. So we are going to run this application. So for now, I'm going to run this application using the advantage or using the facility provided by Intellij. So I'm going to click on this button, on this green button. So it is going to run this file. And as you can see here, this has created a message called as hello world. So if you can see here, whatever we have written here, it is displayed here. So or else instead of hello world, let me put like 1 2 3 1 2 3 hello world 1 2 3 1 2 3. So then I'm going to run this application. So when I run this application, I could see some sort of output, which is this one, hello world 1 2 3 1 2 3. Or else if I put something like 789 or 789 and run this application, it would show me something like this. Hello all 1 2 3 1 2 3 789 789. So this is the starting level program, and to understand what each line of code he is doing here. So initially this line has been generated on auto mode. So when I created the hello world.java file, it came on its own. So what exactly this means is like arc.example is the name of a package. So in Java, whatever we have, in general, whatever the directories or folders we have, so all those directories or folders are called as packages in Java. So if you go back to this file, so this is something similar to uh, uh, in general folders or directories are called as packages in Java. So in general, you call them as folders if you are using Windows machine, and if you are a Linux user, you call it as a directory. So in general, it can be either folders or directories. But when coming to Java, you call the same folders or directories as the packages. That's the only thing. So currently, my package name is org.example. So that is why it is something like this. So this is the folder name, and this says like this is a folder. In Java, it's a package. So this is defining that org.example is a package or a folder in which this file is present. So if you see here, we have the file called as hello world, and this is inside the directory called as org.example, which is called as package in Java. So that is what this line of code is meant to by. And on line 3, you have some things like public, class, hello world. So let's try to understand about this. So when you see this public, so basically public is called as the access modifier. So access modifier. So when you say an access modifier, so like there are apart from public, there are some other access specifiers. So I will come to this what exactly they are meant by. So we have different types of access modifiers, something like public, private, protected. So what do we mean by this access modifier? So it is something like this. So whoever wants to access this class, or it depends like the access modifiers basically defines the accessibility of this particular class. So when you define this class as public, so that means this class can be accessed by anyone in this project. So when you define this class as private, that means this class is this class can be accessed by only few particular members in this project. So that is what it meant. So it defines accessibility. So when you like currently we are defining it as public for now. So going ahead, we'll be playing around public access access modifier or private and protected. So we'll be using them basing on the context and basing on the need and the use case. So for now, let's use public. So when I define it as public, it is accessible by every member in the project. So this is what it means. And the second keyword you have is like class. So basically class is a keyword. So in Java, the entire Java runs on the concepts of classes and objects. So that means here we are saying like this is a class. So in general, if you take the example of C programming language, there you would be having functions, right? So in Java, we call the same functions as methods. So classes serves as a home place to put all the different methods. So just to write something here. So in C, or if you take any other C++ or any other Python programming language, you have functions. So these functions are called as methods in Java. So though you might be from any background, uh, the concept remains the same everywhere, but what keeps on changes is a terminology. So here, if it is a Python, we call them as functions, and here in Java, we call these as methods. So what is the main objective of this class is to accommodate all this method. So classes accommodates or provides space to stay in layman terms. They provide space to stay, uh, provide space for methods to stay. So this is in layman terms. So if you see, so almost all the methods are placed inside the classes. So like indeed we would be discussing about different sort of things in the coming classes. But for now, just to uh, break everything into minute pieces and then try to understand everything. And here you have the hello world name. So this is the name of the class. So basically hello world, whatever the hello world keyword, hello world, what we have, this is called, this defines the name of this class. So everyone would be having some names, right? So for me, I have my name as Nagraj, and some people might be having their name as Kiran, or some people could be having their name as Kumar, or it might be anything. So here in Java, this class is having the name called Hello World. So that is what it is meant by. And then next we have the public. So the public is refers to the same thing, which is the access modifier. And here we have the keyword called static. So basically this is a Java keyword. So what does this mean is like the static keywords is picked at the runtime. For now, let's keep it theoretical. I will try to show you what exactly static is, and in the coming sessions. But for now, like let's keep it very simple. So static is a Java keyword, and when you say void, so what exactly void means is like you are not going to return anything. Going to return anything. And in case of void, if you define int or string or anything, so that means it is going to return an number or a string or character, anything it can be. So this is what it is meant by void. And here we have the other keyword called as main. So here we have main. This is also a Java keyword. And so whenever you try to run any Java application, so the compilers will look for the keyword called as main. So they think this is the like so this is the main like whenever you try to run any application, initially the compiler will try to look for the keyword called as main. So wherever the main is found, it assumes that this is the starting point of this application. So in our case, so here is the starting point of our application. So this is everything would be starting from here itself. So that is what it meant. And here we have a parameter called as string args. So which means, so this is called as an input parameter. Just remember the definitions for now. So this is called as input parameter, and input parameter of type strings. So all of these concepts would be coming in much more deeper and in a detailed way when we discuss the concept called as methods. So, and here we have another keyword called as system dot out dot println. So this prints everything onto the console. Prints uh, statements onto console. So here is this is the statement which we have, or else this can be called as a string or anything. So this is the statement we have, statement or string. And whenever you try to run any application, what this system.out.println function is going to do is like it will print this statement. So that is all about this basic program. And guys, do you have any questions till here? So maybe like for today, I would stop the session here.